Today's video is from Vivek Ramaswamy. It's titled "My Message to Young Kamala Harris Voter on Breaking Free from Systemic Racism." I initially thought this was Charlie Kirk, but this looks like that guy. There's this guy that is always following Charlie Kirk for his debate with these students. So I think he's one of them, and he's going to be having this debate with this Kamala Harris voter. I love when these students are able to have decent conversations with Charlie Kirk and his team, and they're able to explain certain things, put them in the know of things, and allows them ask their questions, things that bother them, questions they have about politics and all those things. Charlie Kirk is usually there to answer their questions and usually have good conversations. But sometimes it goes south, which is normal with young people. Yeah. But before we dive into today's video, I'm Oge. Welcome to the channel. It's your first time here. So happy to have you here. Good to have you here. Do well to like, share, subscribe, turn on post notification bell. Drop in the comment section what you think about this video. If you're a Kamala Harris voter, it's time for you to come out and defend this girl. Okay, so let's quickly have this conversation.
To you, being a man of color, when exactly was America great? What period was America great? And,
good question.
And if America was great in that period, would you personally go back to it?
Would I go back to 2016 through 2020 in this country? I would.
2020.
Actually, I think America was.
Whose administration
Why
was
do
that?
you think America was great?
Was America great for most of our national history? I think we were, actually. I think America was great.
During slavery, during redlining, Jim Crow laws, civil rights movement.
I think, was America perfect? No. Was America great? Yes, it was, actually.
Actually,
I do think it was.
And a very big extreme that you're jumping, because when exactly was America great? America is not great for the African American woman. America is not
I disagree.
great for.
I think there's.
Like what? Are we
can I ask you one question?
What exactly
What's your name?
I'm Felicia.
Felicia. What other country for an African American woman is better than the United States of America?
Well, I live in the United States of America, so I only want to talk about the United States of America.
Right, exactly. So what country, when I talk about whether America is great, I'm not talking about whether America is perfect.
Well, that's why I'm confused, because when was America great for somebody like me? You just told me
I think America's been great. Yeah, so I think America
great. You just told me where somewhere else that America was great.
Yeah, exactly.
So you just told me basically that it wasn't great for me.
I think America is the greatest country on planet Earth for you.
How?
That's what I believe. That's what I believe. Because this is a country where you can achieve the maximum of your God-given potential by working hard.
I am an African-American woman still facing institutionalized systematic racism.
I don't believe that
yes, I am.
to be true right now.
I am.
There are points in our history where that was true.
Yes,
I think
Yes,
today you are free to achieve.
And I would like to talk about how people like to bring up affirmative action as well.
Well, let me just address your first point. Let me just address your first point.
It really ain't
I think this is the country on Earth where you're able to achieve the maximum of your potential without your skin color standing in your way. This is a country where
that's not true.
I believe it is true.
That's not true.
What are you
What
are you unable to achieve, ma'am? Felicia, what can you?
Fargo, they literally all
what
of these
do you
other
wish to
banks
achieve?
just got sued for not giving home loans to African American people. That happened in 2024.
So let me just ask you, what do you
so-called lower of the property value?
So let me tell you, Felicia,
and its ramifications.
Donald Trump is running
for somebody was president.
Donald Trump is running to make America first a reality for all Americans. Let me ask you something very personal, because you made it personal to you. What do you want to achieve in this country that you believe you can't right now because somebody else is stopping you because of your race?
Well,
I think we established something in one of my videos with Charlie Kirk and a student, right? Because this is going like, maybe let me think that not all of them are usually present at each interview, right? So if none of them are usually, so probably we'll have to start having this conversation over and over again. I remember that this lady was saying, Donald Trump was this and this and that, and then Charlie Kirk was like, okay, give us an example. When have you ever experienced this? Give an example. You can't say someone is a terror or someone is doing this, he's racist, without giving examples. You need to have proof to back it up, either personal proof or things you've heard people say or done to somebody that do you understand what I mean? So you can't just come and make general accusations or say certain things without having proof. The same thing with this lady, she has a valid question, because if America is going to move forward, we need to start having serious questions, and she feels like America has never been great to her. because of her skin color. Like, she still faces systemic racism and so many other things. And I'm expecting this guy to ask her a question that, when have you ever experienced it? Are you talking based on experience or based on what you hear the media say? Do you understand what I mean? But he's going ahead to ask her now that, okay, what have you tried to achieve in America that you have not achieved before? Which is also a valid question. I just feel like sometimes when we're going back and forth, and we're not hearing each other, we can never get to a particular conclusion. So when you're asking me a question, you have to listen for me to answer. But in this situation, this girl is talking, the guy is talking over each other. We can't even hear them. But let's see how she answers that question.
Well, right now, as my future career, I want to be a criminal defense attorney.
Okay.
However, as we can acknowledge, there's only 5% of black lawyers in the United States at this current moment.
What are my question is, what are you unable to achieve? Because I think you can achieve that. I believe in you. I believe in you to achieve that.
I'm just saying, why is that the case?
And the number, because I believe the number one factor.
Why is that the case?
I believe the number one factor that determines whether you succeed in this country is not your skin color. It is whether or not you actually put in the effort to do what you want.
Yeah, but if you're fighting against an institutionalized system that's going to hold you down, how exactly can you go against that?
I think that
I'm not even going to deny that she's asking a valid question. But I just feel like if she's going to be asking questions based on facts, yeah, I mean, she has seen the numbers and seen that, okay, black people, the number of black attorneys or whatever are low. And she feels that, or maybe what she's heard. I mean, she's asking a very valid question. I'm not even going to deny that, right? She's asking a valid question. Let's not even lie. She's asking a valid question. But I just feel like he's not hitting the nail on the head. Right? He's not giving her the answer, the response that she wants to get from him. But let's see how he answers this. I hope he's able to answer her well. Because I mean, if he's not giving a good response, then it will go south. But let's hear what he has to say.
I think that there is far greater discrimination in this country by employers against employees on the basis of their political beliefs than there is on the basis of their race.
They don't know your political beliefs unless you express them.
Well, if somebody
they don't know them. How are you being judged on your political views?
I worked in New York City for 10 years. Yeah. If somebody wears that red hat, Make America Great Again, and walks in, they're going to face more discrimination than somebody walks in with black skin. I think that's actually true.
No, they're not.
I think it's true,
no,
actually.
They're not.
It wasn't always true. I mean, there was points in our history where the reverse was true, absolutely, but not right now.
Trump. I don't see you wearing a Make America Great Again hat, but what I'm saying is...
This is not even the crux of the conversation.
That's great, you did a costume change, but what I'm saying is, prior to that, you did not have that on. Prior to that, you didn't have that on. So me perceiving you, I'm perceiving you as a man. I'm not perceiving you as a MAGA supporter, Trump supporter, XYZ. I don't perceive you as that until you tell me that is. So how can you say that somebody's being judged on their political views unless you make their political views known?
I can tell you why.
That doesn't make any sense.
I can tell you why. So I'll tell you a story of a woman. I'll tell you a story that you may not be aware of, all right? So there's a company where a woman, she was wearing a red sweater and held Veterans Day at every Friday to acknowledge veterans in her workplace. Mm-hmm. It was a little affinity group they created. That's what they called it. Now, there was an employee who said that he considered that to be a microaggression. The employer made her stop doing that. She said, okay, I'm just going to bring my red sweater and put it on Fridays on the back of my chair. The employer still stopped her from being able to do that, too. That's political discrimination based on this an anti-racist environment we've created in America. So the irony is, in the name of fighting racism, we've actually created political... She lost her job. She would lose her job unless she stops wearing a red sweater. I think it's wrong in America.
She was hired before that, though, so that means on the basis of they did not know what political...
She was about to be fired. She was about to be fired for standing for veterans.
Your whole argument was that you are
There's viewpoint discrimination in America today.
There is, but my thing is, you are saying that you got discriminated against
because of the political
this woman
views.
In this case got discriminated against because of her political views. No one knew her political views until she came in wearing red.
It. Yeah.
You are making an assumption that
I think she should be able to do that.
Views,
and I think she should be able to do that.
Automatically fired her or do that stuff. They hired her because of her work ethic, because of her ability.
Let me just share something with you.
I don't know who this woman is, but
are you a senior?
I'm a senior.
You're a senior. And what are you doing for work next? You're going to do a criminal defense attorney? You're going to law school?
Yeah, right now I'm interning.
So let me just share something with you, not as a matter of politics, but it's a matter of somebody who... I'm 39. I've had success in this country. My parents came from nothing. I've lived the full American dream, and I'm really grateful for that. And this is where I'm coming from when I say this. I say this to you just as a fellow citizen who wants to see you succeed and achieve your dreams. The more you view yourself as a victim, the more likely you are to be one.
True.
The more you view yourself as empowered, the more likely you are to be empowered. I want you to be empowered. I don't want you to see a world in which there's some invisible lines of hierarchy based on race or gender and that you're being discriminated against. Because the more you see the world that way, the more likely you are not to achieve your dreams. Versus if you look at the world and see the world that I see, and this is what America offers, to say that you have your own God-given talents, how are you going to be able to achieve the maximum of your potential? I promise you, nobody is going to stop you in modern America because of your skin color. It's just not going to happen.
They do, but okay.
Give me one. I would love to hear one example where you wanted to, where you tried to get a job and you couldn't get it because of your skin color. I'm sure that's true of people who lived in the 1950s. I'm sure it's true of people who lived in the 1850s.
Now,
I'm also sure that doesn't exist today.
What you're telling me is that they're saying that I can't get a job based on my skin color. They're not going to outright say that because of different laws and policies in place, which is why the systemic racism is part of the conversation.
So look, I think that here's the thing. Here's the thing. In the 1960s, Martin Luther King said we want to live in a country where we're judged not on our color of our skin, but on the content of our character and our contributions.
Yeah.
We are 60 years later in a promised land far greater than he could have ever imagined. We've elected a black president of the United States. We've had a black attorney general. We've had black success at every level in this country. So
they can't explicitly say that because they'll get sued. They'll get different legal ramifications. And that's where the intersectionality of the institutionalized systemic racism comes in.
So
because you can't blatantly say that. You hide behind policies and laws to say that.
Tell me if we can find some common ground, because that's my goal of being here. Do you agree with me? The best way to stop discrimination on the basis of race is to stop discriminating on the basis of race. Do you agree with me on that?
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that if you want to stop discrimination on the basis of race, let's stop discriminating on the basis of race. Can we agree on that?
Let her speak.
You know what? Fine.
So at least we can agree that's a principle.
It's a loaded statement, but okay, it's a loaded statement.
So I think that part of and let me give you one. You gave me a little give. I'm going to give you one give too. All right. I'm going to give you one give too. I think that, and this may surprise a lot of people in the audience, but it's true, and I'm going to say it. In the last probably year, I think we have started to see something I never would have imagined seeing 10 years ago, which is the slightest uptick of actual anti-black racism in the country. And I'll tell you why we're seeing it.
How?
It's coming as a backlash to years of affirmative action. Because when you take something away from somebody on the basis of their skin color, there's no greater way to foster racism than to take something of value from somebody based on their skin color. And it's sad to see. I don't want to see that in this country, but the best way to get there is restore merit over group quotas.
Yeah.
And I think there's no middle ground. Either you believe in merit or you believe in group quotas. You can't have both. I stand for merit, and I think that's better for Americans of every skin color, including black Americans as well. At my company, I found a multi-billion-dollar company. I had a black executive, okay? And I don't care about her skin color. It doesn't matter to me. I've had black executives at multiple companies I've built. I'll tell you a sad story that happened. She got her job because she was good at what she did. That's why I recruited her. A guy who wasn't particularly as good at his job didn't get the promotion to the position that she held. You hear the conversation, what do you hear? It says, oh, she only got her job because of her race and gender. Well, actually, in her case, that just wasn't true at all. But the reason he's able to say that is because most other companies in the industry are applying racial quotas to who actually gets those jobs. So it's not good for white Americans or Asians. It's not good for black Americans either. What we need is colorblind meritocracy in America. And affirmative action, I do think, is the biggest form of institutional racism that exists today. That's what I believe.
Well, I'm not going to say they are both wrong. They are both right. But I personally feel like he didn't have a proper answer to her questions. Yeah, I mean, he answered like in conclusion. But I just feel like he would have broken down the answer for her. She was asking really valid questions. And even though she did not give an example, right? Because we would love to, okay, hear an example. Okay, when have you ever experienced such? And then she gave an example of, the women in whatever her career wise, like we have very few women of color in that area and that aspect, but she didn't give like a specific example. So she knows what she's talking about, but I just feel like she would have given us an example. But and what the questions she's asking are not even lies. Yeah, we always hear people kick against, oh, racism doesn't exist. But people who go for job interviews, people who work at who experience these things actually experience these things. So if they actually do experience these things once in a while, you know, they can actually talk about it and ask questions and make people understand that these things are still there. But he made a very valid point that the only way we can wipe away these things is not to think about it, not to think that, oh, this thing that like this thing exists. Why don't you work as hard as a white person to achieve what you want to achieve? If you work as hard as a white person, if you work hard for what you want, you will definitely achieve what you want. I know it's also another important thing to put behind what the media says, what people say, and just forge ahead. You know, he mentioned a lot of points, but let's know what you guys think about this video. Do you think that he actually made a valid point in his conversation with this lady? Do you think he actually hit the nail on the head? Do you think he even answered her questions at all? Do you also think that this lady was asking very valid questions? Do you think her questions needs proper answers? Do you guys think that Charlie Kirk could have done a better job? But anyway, I think he did answer in conclusion, but I just feel like he would have given, because she didn't really seem very satisfied with the answers she was getting from him. And I also feel like she would have gotten more, like he would have given her more answers, because that's usually the point of this debate and all of that, just for these students to ask their questions and their questions to be answered, or at least you get to a part. Because even the question he asked, you know, that she was saying, oh, it's a loaded question, you know, she had her own concerns, but she couldn't answer. So that's the point of the debate, for us to disagree to agree, at least to a certain extent. Even though we have different views, we should actually be able to agree, you know, find a common ground to agree on certain things. But let's know what you guys think about this video in the comment section below. If you have answers to these questions, kindly answer them in the comment section. Would really appreciate them. People would love to learn, and you know, you could learn and grow as well. Yeah, so do well to like if you enjoyed this video, subscribe if you haven't, turn on post notification bell so you get notified anytime we drop a new video, and drop in the comment section what you think about the video. Do not forget to appreciate me if you want to. Okay, yeah, I'll see you in my next episode. Bye.